News brief. Romero Games is teaming up with Paradox Interactive for an upcoming game. Studio co-founder Brent Romero announced the team-up on Twitter this morning, and notes in a press release that the project itself is set to be a strategy game based on a new IP. There's a website and newsletter sign-up for the new project already, but outside of that, there's not much known about the title of the partnership quite yet. The game will mark the second major announcement of Romero Games in recent memory, following just after the doomed spiritual successor. Studio co-founder John Romero announced late last year that project was created as a mega-want morph of the original 1993 release of Doom, and released as a free download this February. More information on this newest project, however, is due out at some point before E3. Nobody knows video game vehicle physics better than AVALANCH Studios, which touts them as a key selling point for its flagship post-cause games. The studio just set a new bar for physics-based grapple em-ups with the release Just Cause 4, and at the 2019 Game Developers Conference you will get to peek under the hood to see how it works. As part of BD 2019's programming check-off talks, Avalanche Studios' lead mechanics designer Hamish Young will be speaking about vehicle physics and tire dynamics in Just Cause 4. He will show you how the latest Just Cause game copes with a wide range of vehicles and playstyles through thoughtful design of its tire dynamics, and how the right technical decisions were reached during design of the game's vehicle physics module. You want to be there, because Young also plans to go through the magic formula. Tire model acts minimally. It may not be optimal for a cadence impede handling, and propose a more designer-friendly approach, which is not semi-empirical, has considerably fewer parameters, and produces more player-friendly results. For more details on this talk, and many more, check out THEGTC 2019 session scheduler. There you can begin to lay out your DD week, which takes place March 18th through the 22nd at the newly renovated Moscone Center in San Francisco. Bring your team to BD. Register a group of 10 or more and save 10% on conference passes. Learn more. For more details on GDC 2019 visit the show's official website, or subscribe to regular updates via Facebook, Twitter, or Gamasutra and BD are sibling organizations under parent company Informa. Epic Games is facing another lawsuit over its game Fortnite, though this latest case has little to do with Battle Royale or dance moves. A California man has filed a legal complaint against the game developer on behalf of his son, alleging that the loot box-esque loot llamas in the Fortnite Save the World flavor of the game exploits children. Loot llamas show as a potential job priority as of January 20th. 90 update to the game, but prior to that the boxes were completely blind, meaning that players had no way of knowing in the moment exactly how likely they were to pull the rare job they were after. It's that pre-update stage of the game that plaintiff Steve Waltz takes issue within the potential class action suit spotted by The Verge, though the fact that the game has since been altered to include Oz is not mentioned in the lawsuit. The complaint says that the game is structured in such a way that it entices minors and others into purchasing loot boxes, known as llamas, using unfair and deceptive marketing. That includes the fact that purchasable loot llamas would display a potential high-value drop before being opened, though the actual odds of receiving that drop were allegedly quite low. Players are encouraged to keep purchasing llamas, with the reasonable belief that repeated purchase will lead to the chance of receiving better loot, and therefore improvement in performance of the game. Continues the document. Through both express misrepresentations and omissions, the pink markets llamas as highly likely to contain valuable loot that will increase a player's power and prowess in the Fortnite game. But in reality, llamas do not contain the loot expected by the reasonable consumer. The complaint goes on to say that if ALTS had known the act of pooling the desired loot in llamas were virtually nil, he would not have made those purchases to begin with, and that the very structure of Fortnite's loot llama system violates the Consumer Legal Remedies Act, California's false advertising law, California's unfair competition law, and constitutes unjust enrichment. It's not the first lawsuit levied against Fortnite, by any means, or is it the first to take issue with the presence of loot boxes in video games. Just recently, the FTC announced that it would be launching an investigation into loot boxes as a monetization technique through a public workshop later this year. TechBlog quotes is reporting that Microsoft began its Thursday morning with an all-hands meeting regarding allegations that the company's HR department has been brushing off reports of sexual harassment and discrimination from women at Microsoft, according to a story from DevGirl1. The meeting apparently addresses a long email chain that began circulating on March 20th. Such chain has apparently expanded to women across the company sharing stories of inappropriate work behavior, ranging from threats for not providing sexual favors to flat-out discrimination in career advancement. According to these women, after reporting their experiences to human resources, they apparently often received hostile and non-committal responses to their complaints. Game developers should be aware that some of the allegations do relate to the X team. Per quotes, one employee described her experience on the X team as such: "We did round tables with the women when I was in XCAR team, and every woman, except for one, had been called a bitch at work." Before people say, this is just an X thing, as I have heard that dismissiveness way too many times within Microsoft before, the other than engineering orgs, where my experiences happened were Windows and easier. This is a Microsoft thing, a common one. When reached for comment, a Microsoft spokesperson supplied the following statement from Kathleen Hook, Executive VP of HR at the company. This statement was sent to recipients of the email chain as well. "I discussed this thread with the senior leadership team today. We are appalled and sad to hear about these experiences. It is very painful to hear these stories and to know that anyone is facing such behavior at Microsoft. We must do better. I would like to offer to anyone who has had such demeaning experiences, including those who felt were dismissed by management or HR, to email me directly. I will personally look into the situation with my team. I understand the devastating impact of such experiences, and the SLT wants to be made aware of any such behavior, and we will do everything we can to stop it." As mentioned earlier in the thread, in Ziran, our Chief Diversity Officer will be setting up sessions the week of April 22nd to ensure we hear and are clear on the feedback and determine what initiatives or programs should keep stop-start based on input from this community. Invites for the sessions will be sent to all women's community groups next week. We'll accommodate multiple time zones. And joining Lindsay Rain will be Erin Chappell, co-exec sponsor of the women's community at Microsoft. While I do want to create a forum for the community on the thread, I also read and agree with the comments that for us to solve this as a company, the burden does not reside only with us women. While reading some of this is very disheartening, I am proud and encouraged to see people empowered to speak up, say this is not right, and stand together for change. Thank you. Activision Blizzard published its 2018 earnings report today, and while the company's revenues and profits rose year-over-year, CEO Bobby Kotick stated that, "We did not realize our full potential." According to the release, Activision Blizzard generated $7